Hello, my name's Jeff, Mr. Nobody, average, fucking nothing special, nothing special. But I'm making a video every day to talk about the issues of the day from a average nobody's perspective. Just while I'm walking, Charlie, me and Charlie, we're going to walk around and set the world to rights, aren't we, boy? You really look interested there. Do you look interested? You dead interested? No, you're not. Right, anyway. I have no one to talk to. I have no way to socialise. Can't work. Try to set up my own business. I did it at the stupid time of in March though. Tried to set it up in March, early March. Then lockdown happened, paid all my rent up front, bought all my equipment, went to shit. Didn't make any money. Can't afford to pay the rent now. Had to stop. Are you coming or what? Come on. Here he comes. You gotta give Charlie a bit of leeway though, because he's only got small legs. So today I want to talk about Black Lives Matter and how I think it's a load of bullshit. It's a load of bullshit. I come from a poor area, pretty poor. If you want to look it up, it's Lower Broughton in Salford, Greater Manchester, England, planet Earth. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. And I grew up there in the mid-90s and lived there up until 2004, 5. My family still lived there though. I grew up in the city centre, right next to the city centre. My parents had a house in the city centre. Used to be a rundown area at the time. Used to be a lot of DOS homes, which, if you don't know what a DOS home is, it's where they used to, pissheads used to go and sleep, and alcoholics and flashers. So when we was kids, there was a lot of tramps knocking about, and you got people flashing their dicks at you when you walk into the park. The park was full of glass, a lot of crime, a lot of stabbings. There was pubs. There was, at the time, there was pubs. When I was a kid, there was a pub every 200 yards, something like that, from the city centre all the way to Higher Broughton. Pub every 200 yards. They're all gone now. They're all gone. The only things that are left are in the city centre. Anyway, when we was growing up, we was all poor. We get to high school. Well, in my primary school, there was an Indian kid. There was a black kid. I think the Indian kid was called Jess. The black kid was called Ivanhoe, and the Iraqi kid was called what was his name? Arash. Arash. Arash's family had fled Iran when when they'd had Arash, they'd left Iran because they didn't want him to grow up surrounded by all hardline Muslims. They didn't want him to have that, the popular Muslim idea that's about today. They wanted him to mix and be westernized and be cultured and be more accepting. Ivanhoe's dad was Jamaican, his mum was white, or maybe she was mixed race. I can't really remember. I remember she was fat though. And Jess was just a typical Indian Sikh. Loads of Sikhs knocking about, loads of Sikhs. There was a Chinese kid there as well, but can't remember his name. Really can't remember his name. But I am getting old now and I've been punched in the head a few times, so the memory's not what it was. But when you see Black Lives Matter today, they're going on about all this racism and how white people are predominantly racist and how we all hate black people and white police. You've obviously never lived in a fucking poor area, because we were all poor and we were all treated like shit. It make a difference what colour you wear. It never made the slightest bit of difference. Nothing. I've had my head whacked off police doors. I've been strangled by the police. I've been handcuffed very, very tightly. I've been kicked. What more do you need? What more do you need? For no charges. Never got charged with anything. I never got charged with anything until I was in my late 20s. And none of the crimes I ever committed were violent. Like a little bit of spray painting, a bit of breaking and entering in factories. We were poor. We had to rob. We want a new pair of trainers. Let's go and rob something. So what do? Do you rob a student? You take his bike? Take his bike, sell it, get 15 quid for it? No, you go and rob a warehouse. You don't want to rob a student. Street robbery. So you go and break into a warehouse, steal cakes, steal cards, toys, all these kind of things. That's what we used to do. That's how we used to make extra money. And the police would catch you for that, and they'd strangle you, they'd beat you, and you make sure you didn't get caught next time. You'd run fast. George Floyd being killed by the police. An accident. It's an accident. Misjudged accident. I don't think it was murder. I don't think that guy woke up in the morning and said, today I'm going to go and kill someone. I think climate in America is different from the climate here. You know, black people over here never had it like black people in America. Well, I went to school with black kids, socialised with black kids. You know, we're all in the same boat. Well, we all piss in the same pot. That's what we're saying around here. There was never any racial divide. There was when I was very young. There was areas that we didn't go in. You get out of them bushes. Get out of them bushes. What are you doing there? Nosy dog. But my best friend, Daz, he's mixed race. Or as he used to say, half caste. We used to say half caste. He even described himself as half caste. That's how I met him. Someone told me he was a Mexican. First day of high school. Get into high school. You're shitting your pants. It's brand new thing. Brand new. You know, all the kids are bigger than you. You go from being a big fish in a small pond to a small fish in a big fucking pond. And I goes in there and I see this young, small, brown guy. And a friend of mine says, oh, he's Mexican. So I thought, oh, right. Okay, Mexican. Never spoke to a Mexican before. Let's go and see what it's like in Mexico. I spoke to Mexicans since I've been to Mexico. And I goes over and talks to him. Asks him, I say, yo, are you Mexican? And he answers me back in a Cockney accent and says, no, I'm from London. I thought, oh, right, okay then. So that was that. We've been friends now for 26 years. Through Daz, I started mixing in with other, how would you say, like ethnic circles? Well, different areas. I was from Lower Broughton, he was from Cheetham Hill, which is on the other side of Higher Broughton, which predominantly was a black area. So we used to mix with my area, which was mainly white, and Indian, and I used to mix in his area, which was mainly black. Has race ever been a thing between us? No. Have I ever seen black people being treated worse than white people? No. No, I've never seen that. I've seen poor people being treated worse than wealthy people. That is what it appears like. Black Lives Matter seems to have a load of kids that have never been tasered, have never been choked out, have never had their heads beaten off car doors, or the frame, you know the frame, oh. Get your head off that and you can feel it for hours. You know, your eyebrow gets split and all that kind of stuff. That's it, and they're all holding up this George Floyd as like a symbol for them to attack white people. And I can tell you from living today in a poor area with other races that the only thing that separates us is money. That is the only thing that separates us. The people who can afford to go to college and university end up with this distorted view of the world, where they seem to tell each other that it's me, the poor white guy with the bald head and the tattoos, that is the fucking racist. I'm not a racist. I don't give a shit about race. I couldn't care fucking less about race. Would George Floyd have got the same outrage if he would have been a white guy? Fuck no. No. To be honest, I don't think this George Floyd would have wanted all this chaos and carnage. All these people smashing up Manchester city centre. There's people smashing up Liverpool, pissing on Winston Churchill's statue. Pissing on his statue. A guy that's led this country, probably the greatest man that this country's had in the 20th century. And they pissed on his statue and called him a fucking racist. Because what would they have preferred? The Nazis taking over? Would that have been better? Hey, because then there would be no Black Lives Matter. Because there would be no black lives. Simple as that. Simple as that. The Americans fought a civil war for black people. Manchester had the cotton strikes for black people. You can go to Lincoln Square. There's a statue of Abraham Lincoln where the people of Manchester went on strike to stop the cotton production. To stop producing cotton for the American slavers. The people of Liverpool didn't. People, they say that in Liverpool they had more Confederate flags than they had in the whole south of the United States. Interesting fact. Interesting fact. But yeah, if anybody wants to go and have a look, or you want to Google it, Google Earth, you can have a look at Lincoln Square, see the statue. And then they turn around and say that they're being oppressed. They're not being oppressed. The only people that's oppressing black people is black people. It's a trick. It's a ploy. It's an illusion. When the magician creates a trick, he can't really do magic. Magic doesn't exist. What this is a way for the middle classes to divide the poor classes, to divide poor people, to turn one on the other. Because if you look throughout history, the people that have saved you, that have built you, have always been the poor. It's always built on the backs of poor. And this is exactly what this is, Black Lives Matter. It's dividing poor people. Rich white people using black people as a pawn in a chess game against the poor. And if they can't see that, they're the dumbest cunts alive. Seriously. None of my friends even agree with Black Lives Matter. Even Darrell. The blackest black man I know. He's so black, it's unreal. But he has a white girlfriend. Not even right, he has a white girlfriend, white Irish girlfriend as well. She's not even like a white English, she's like me, white Irish. So she's so even this guy doesn't agree with it. Marcus, Jamaican, doesn't agree with it. They all agree that George Floyd shouldn't have been killed, and I agree with that, he shouldn't have been killed. But they also come to me with the point of, why was he in this situation? Why was he in this situation? Why did it end up that way? Why did it? Was he, well, to steal the quote, he wasn't walking down the street carrying flowers and a balloon, was he? He just robbed a shop. And he was off his tits. Whereas David Dawn was a man that had spent his entire life protecting his community and died protecting his friend's shop. Shot in the back. Who does that? Who does that to somebody else? Who does that? It's atrocious. George Floyd is getting 3 funerals. David Dawn gets a little mention. It just doesn't seem right. And then you've got all these crazy ass white people washing the feet of black people, begging for forgiveness. Forgiveness from what? I don't feel guilt. I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything for George Floyd. I feel for David Dawn. I feel for David Dawn. The guy was a hero. The true word of a hero. That's what heroes do. Heroes sacrifice. That is what it means to be a hero. You sacrifice. Did George Floyd sacrifice himself for a noble cause, or did he sacrifice himself for a packet of cigarettes? Still don't agree with him being killed. I don't think he was murdered. From watching the video, it doesn't look like he was murdered. Looks like it might have been a tragic fucking accident. Tragic accident. But he wasn't gunned down in the back, was he? It wasn't like little Emily Jones who was stabbed and nearly decapitated in Bolton on Mother's Day, my area. Black on white crime. What's even worse, it was Muslim black on white crime. So, and it's a child, an 8-year-old girl, truly innocent girl. Could you think of anybody more innocent than an 8-year-old girl going to the park with a mum on Mother's Day and getting stabbed and nearly decapitated by a religious fanatic? State of the world. White lives don't matter. And to be honest, I think Black Lives Matter are resetting all the hard work that's been done from previous generations. I'm in a cemetery at the moment. A lot of war graves in here. A lot of war graves. And you see these lads, young lads, died 19, 20, fighting a war, fighting against fascists. Fighting against fascists. Winston Churchill, led this country against the fascists. And these people are pissing on his statue. These people are holding George Floyd up to be this shining light that everyone should adhere to. They've painted a mural of him in Manchester. Why? Why? Why have we got an American painted up in Manchester? A guy who was killed for stealing cigarettes. He wasn't killed for stealing cigarettes, that's wrong. He died because he was stealing cigarettes. Fucking lunatic, man. And people wonder why mental health is suffering. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I just wish the world would take people as individuals and people not be used. Because once a magician shows you how he does his trick, you can't be fooled again. You can't be fooled again, and I will not be fooled by this George Floyd Black Lives Matter nonsense, because it's just nonsense. Absolute nonsense. It's a way for people to come against white people. That's what it is. It's not for black lives to make black lives better. How can you make them better? What? Get more than me? No. No. Charlie, we're coming. You're going to get run over by that lawnmower, man. Come on. Come on. We're going home now. I'm going to get some chunks. Let you get you some chunks. Get you some beef chunks. Come on. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Probably made no sense. I'll do another video tomorrow. You take it easy, everybody. And relax.